Alright, hello everybody. Today we're going to do our PET class. Okay, so today's class is 4.5. Alright, so please be careful. Remember to use the correct book. Alright, so it should be number 4. Workbook number 4. It should look like this. And for this one, we have a classwork to do. Page 7 and 8. Alright, so this is a classwork for today. Page 7 and 8. Look at how many or how much we have to do today. So let's try to keep active and listen to me carefully, and as well as the students here, they might have some questions, so try to listen to their questions if they raise any. Alright, so that's page 7 and 8, so we'll do that later. Okay, so first we need to take out our student book. Alright, the purple one. It should be pre-intermediate B1. Alright, so the book B1, this one, right? Okay, so for this one we're doing 2 pages as well, page 92 and 93. Okay, we have 11 parts. All right, we might have to skip parts that aren't important, okay, just to get things going. All right, so everybody, just to help you understand, each page I've marked down, okay, and each part of the page I've marked down as well. So now same thing here, page 92, part 1, the passive. Okay, so what does that mean, the passive? What do you think that means? Alright, so when we're reporting something, when we are writing down something, sorry, we can write down in 2 kinds of voices, okay? One voice is the active voice, the second voice is the passive voice. Have you heard this in school before? Yes, you have. Alright, so Lavina, maybe you can give us some, you could describe a little bit about what you learned in school about passive and active. Could you do that?
Yes. At school, it is like a school unit, and it said that it is like some reported speech, but it need to change the tense.
Yes, very good. Reported speech and change of tenses. Very good. What else do they tell you in school?
I can like an example.
Yes, please.
Just like he was given exam paper when he needed to have an exam.
Okay, is that active or passive?
It's a passive.
Right, he was given an exam paper when he needed to do an exam, right?
Yes.
Could you change the passive sentence back to active?
Yes.
Could you try?
Like the teacher gave him a task paper, such as that.
Right, very good, very good. So maybe if we can maybe go here on the video, all right? So I'll write them down here, okay? So active voice is usually the subject, right? The subject of the sentence doing an action to the object, right? So this is how we usually write sentences. For example, I give my book to her, right? I give my book to her. But in passive voice, we will change the order. Okay, so I give my book to her, right? My book was given to her by myself, right? Maybe like this. You can do like this, right? The verb to give somebody, or you can put it here, right? So this is what we mean by passive voice, to change the order and the tenses, okay? So this is just very light explanation. We will go through it one by one, and let's see if you can pick it up and add some more things in between, all right? So for page 91, page 92, exercise 1, it should be the passive. It's a listening exercise, all right? So can someone read the question? The big blue question. Maybe Kotik, are you a true sports fan? Right, so we know from this title, this is going to be about being a sports fan, alright? So let's try to listen, okay? Let's listen to the recording and see if we can answer the questions together. But before we do that, let's go through the questions, number 1 to number 5. Jenny, can you read number 1?
If you hear the
umpire
called Love 40, which sport is being played?
Right, so which sport is being played when people call out Love 40, okay? So this is a sports a slang, okay, that people use in a certain kind of sport. So we will listen to that later. Question number 2, can we have Lavina? Can you read question number 2?
Which country was the 2002 Football World Cup won by?
Right, so which country was the 2002 or 2002 Football World Cup won by? Okay, and then question number 3, Kotik?
Which country has been awarded the highest number of medals throughout the history of Olympics?
Very good. Which country has been awarded the highest number of medals throughout the history of the Olympics? Question number 4, let's go back to Jenny.
In athletics, what do we call the long
Distance
race with is run over 26.2
miles.
miles?
Right, in athletics means in sports, like very athletic sports, right? What do we call the long distance? Means far range, right? Distance race, which is run over, right? 26.2 miles. In Hong Kong, that will be 42.1 kilometers, okay? So what do we call that kind of race, okay? Some of you might know. And number 5, in which sport must a life jacket be worn at each training session? All right, so that means which sport should we always wear a life jacket each time we are in training? All right, so let's look at the options together, A, B, and C. Number 1 is basketball, football, tennis. For 2 is England, Brazil, or France. Number 3, the USA, Germany, or China. Number 4 is marathon, a decathlon, or a pentathlon. All right, and number 5 is swimming, water polo, or canoeing. Canoeing is a kind of boat that you use, right? You have to row the boat by yourself. Sometimes 2 people, sometimes even 3. All right, so it's a small, narrow boat. All right, so let me just quickly find the PET, right? Number 4. All right, so now that I have the recording, all right, so I want you to listen carefully. I'll only be playing this once, okay? So for you at home as well, listen carefully. I'll be playing it once and try to answer the questions, okay? We'll check the answers together, so don't worry if you don't get it the first time. All right, is everybody ready? Yes or no?
Yes.
Good.
Exercise 1A, page 92.
And now the answers to last week's sports quiz. The first question we asked was, if you hear the umpire call Love 40, which sport is being played? And the answer, of course, is tennis. Which country was the 2002 Football World Cup won by was question 2, and some viewers thought it was France. Sorry, France won the 1998 World Cup, and Brazil, who lost to France in that final, won in 2002. Next, we asked who has won the most Olympic medals, and not everyone got that. In fact, it's the USA, not Germany. Question 4, the long-distance race run over 42 kilometres is, of course, the marathon. Finally, question 5 asked about wearing a life jacket at training sessions, and if you answered canoeing, you're right. Quite a few of you got all the answers, and this week's lucky winner is...
Right, okay. So a very interesting recording, right, that we've listened to. What do you think that was? Can someone answer? What do you think that was? Kotik, what do you think the recording was?
It's about, do you know the sports, some kind of history of sports.
Right, so some kind of history. And where do you think you can hear this kind of recording? Where can you hear this recording? Where do you think?
Maybe the quiz or competition.
Competitions, what else? Can someone give an example? Maybe Lavina, where do you think you can hear something like this?
I don't know.
Right, maybe on the television, right? So if you were a sports fan, you want to watch everything about sports. You turn on the TV, go to the sports channel, and maybe some shows will have some competitions for sports fans, okay? So let's see if you were a sports fan, okay? Number 1, if you hear the umpire call Love 40, which sport is being played? Jenny, A, B, or C?
C.
C, which is?
Tennis.
Tennis, good. And number 2, Kotik, A, B, or C, which country was the winner for the Football World Cup 2002?
A.
Is it A, B, or C? Which one?
B.
B, you're right. Which is which country?
France. Brazil.
Brazil, right? Brazil. So they said England won another year, right? But Brazil was the winner of the 2002 Football World Cup. Question number 3: which country has been awarded the highest number of medals throughout the history of Olympics? Lavina.
A, the USA.
Right, A, the USA, or the United States of America. Okay. Number 4: in athletics, what do we call the long distance race which is run over 26.2 miles or 42.1 kilometers? Who can answer that?
A marathon.
A marathon. Okay, very good. A marathon. Now, just to right. So a marathon, a decathlon, and a pentathlon. So these are in different different types of sports and different types of lengths. Okay. So if it's just a race that's long distance over this one, the long distance with 42.1 kilometers, we call that a marathon. Okay. So the word athon is always used with sports. So you can sometimes have a competition like sing-a-thon, right? If you have sing-a-thon, right? Athon means the competition and sing means to sing. So you can guess that sing-a-thon means a singing competition, okay? Alright, number 5. In which sport must a life jacket be worn at each training session? Lavina.
C, canoe.
Canoeing. Alright, C, canoeing. So another word for canoeing is letter K. Kayaking. Right, that's another word for canoeing. I'm sorry if my handwriting it's really weird to write. K-A-Y-A-K-I-N-G. Kayaking is another word for canoeing. You can write it down if you want to, just for reference. K-A-Y-A-K-I-N-G. K-A-Y-A-K-I-N-G. Kayaking. Another word for canoeing. A very narrow boat, right? Maybe 2 people rowing together. Canoeing or kayaking. Now, I did it wrong, so this should be up here, okay? The passive tenses should be part of part 1. This should be part B. This is part A, right? So now, you see the words in bold, right? Is being played in number 1. Number 2 is was won by. Number 3 is has been awarded. And number 4 is run. And number 5 is must be worn. Alright, what can you tell me about these bold words? What do you think are very special about this? Right, we usually don't talk like this, right? We usually don't talk like this. We don't really say the sport tennis, which is being played by me every Saturday, is my favorite, right? It's usually my favorite sport that I play every Saturday is tennis, right? So what do you think is so special about this? Right? Can someone take a guess?
It's a passive.
Very good. It's in the passive, right? It's in the passive. And try to look at the passive, right? What is different from the everyday speech? The tenses, right? The tenses. So, we have 5 prompts. We have 5 passive voices here. Can you tell me, each one of you, let's go through it one by one, about the tenses used, okay? What tenses are used? What do you think? Is being played. Is being played. What kind of tense is that? Is being played. Do you know? Is being played. IS, that's the present, right? Being, ing, continuous, right? Played is the past particular. So we call that a, remember this should be up here, okay? This should be up there. So this one is called a present continuous. C-O-N-T-I, right? N-U-O-U-S. Alright, there's not a lot of space, which is why I'm writing very small, okay? Present continuous tense. That's the kind of tense we use, okay, in passive form. But we also have other kinds of tenses, depending on how we write it. Alright? Well, there should be 5. I'm gonna write 4. Okay, the next one. Alright, Lavina. Okay, number 2, was won by. Very easy, was won by. What kind of tense is that?
Was is past tense, and won is past participle.
Right, so that's past participle, but what kind of tense is that? Very simple, right? So that's only a past simple tense, okay? Oop. I was gonna write past participle. Past simple, S-I-M-P-L-E. Past simple tense, right? Number 2 is past simple tense. We should have 5, okay? So I'll let you do number 5 by yourself, because that's very interesting. Okay, past simple tense, was won, right? Was won. We have 2 verbs there, was and won. All right, question number 3. Let's go to Mr. Kotick. Has been awarded, has been awarded. You see the difference from is being played and has been awarded, okay? What do you think the difference is? And what do you call that tense?
It's called present passive voice.
Present passive voice?
No.
Right, it's a passive voice, that's correct, and it's present too, but what kind of present tense is it? Has been awarded.
Has is present.
Then we have the word been, and then awarded
Is
P3, right? So what do you call that?
Past participle.
Right, so what is that altogether? Present plus been plus past participle. What kind of tense is it? Present.
Present perfect.
Very good, present perfect. So number 4 should be present perfect. All of you have learned this in school, right? Yes, the different tenses. Present perfect tense, okay? Good, 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 very easy. Number 1, present continuous, right? Is being, ing, played, past participle. Number 2, was won, just simple, past simple, okay? Number 3, has been awarded, has been awarded. So present, been, and past participle is present perfect. Number 4, Miss Jenny, is run, very easy, which is run over.
Present tense.
Right, present tense, right, very good, or present simple. Present simple, P-R-E-S-E-N-T, simple, S-I-M-P-L-E. All right, present simple. Now, I have no space to write it down here. Maybe I can put it up here, okay? Up here. For number 5, must be worn, must be worn. Now, this is a very, maybe some of you have not learned this at school. Must, will, should, ought to. We call them modal, right? Modal verbs. So that's a modal. Must is a modal. M-O-D-A-L. Modal. Be worn. Must be worn. What do we call that? Be worn. So we have the word be in front, and then the past participle. We call that a present infinitive. I-N-F-I-N-I-T-I-V-E. Present infinitive. P-R-E-S-E-N-T-I-N-F-I-N-I-T-I-V-E. Present infinitive. So to be something, right? Be and then past participle. Must be worn. Right? If they are so naughty, they must be told to behave, right? Something like that. Right? Easy? Understand? Good. All right, so after part 1, right, let's go ahead to part 2. All right, so part 2, here is where we're going to start analyzing the differences between active and passive voice. And we are also going to write down the differences. This is too busy. Let me just erase that so it's not confusing. Okay, so for part 2, right, active and passive voice, active and passive voice. We have 2 columns, one for active and one for passive, all right? So look at the active, okay? Look at the active part 1, the first one, the one that's been done for us. Active part 1. They hold the Olympics every 4 years. They hold the Olympics every 4 years. Alright, do you see how they wrote it down? Subject comes first, they. Verb, hold, and then object, the Olympics every 4 years, okay, is the time. So now let's go to the passive. Let's go to the passive. If we want to write down, they hold the Olympics every 4 years in the passive form, we have to start with the object, which is the Olympics, right? Alright, so the word here is hold. The key word here is hold. Right, hold from active will become what in passive? So the Olympics is held? Are held. Very good. So held, thank you, and are, thank you. So the Olympics are held. Right? So what kind of tense is this? Are held. Are held. Not was held, right? Are held.
Passive voice.
What kind of tense?
Present.
Present what?
Present plus past participle.
Okay, good. Alright. So now let's go to number 2. In order to answer this one, right, we should look at number 2 from active. They are installing new gym equipment. Sorry, they are installing new equipment in the gym. Again, same thing, right? They, subject, are installing, verb, new equipment, the thing, right? In the gym, object. Oh, sorry, new equipment is object and the gym is the place, right? With the preposition. So now, here in passive voice, how do we start that? We start out with the object. So the object is new equipment, only one. New equipment blank in the gym. Only one, remember, only one equipment. So it should be new equipment.
Is installed.
Is installed, is being installed. Does anybody have another answer? What do you think? Now, to answer this question, we have to look back at the active, right? The active. What kind of tense are we using in the active? Will tell us the answer on the passive. So are installing will become installing new gym equipment. So what should that be? New equipment is being, okay, installed. Why being installed? Because as we speak, they are still installing it. ing, right? That's why it's being installed, okay? Alright. Question number 3. In the active side, we have to read the passive side first. Now it's the opposite, right? Opposite. The new gym will be opened by the mayor. The new gym will be opened by the mayor. The new gym, object, will be opened, verb, by the mayor, subject. So it will become the mayor will open. Very easy, right? The mayor will open. The mayor will open the new gym. The new gym will be opened by the mayor. Then the mayor will open the new gym. Alright, have you written it down? Good. Next one. Let's go back to the passive, right? To answer number 4 in active. This sport has not been broadcast on TV before. This sport, object, has not been broadcast, verb, on TV before, right? So that's the object. So TV producers have they or have they not? Have broadcast?
Have been.
Did they or did they not? The answer is no, right?
Have
so
not.
Have not.
Not broadcast.
Have not broadcast. Very good. Broadcast, not broadcasted. Okay. So have not or haven't. HAVEN''T. Broadcast. Do you know what the word broadcast means? Shown. Okay, shown or to program. So the word broad means very large, okay? Broad. Cast means to put or to throw or to show. All right, cast. All right, that's one word, broadcast. Good, good, good. Easy, right? Very easy. All right, so now let's go to number 5 on the passive, but we have to look at it from active, okay? So active is the organizers canceled the competition. The organizers, subject of the sentence, canceled, verb, the competition, object. So switch around. The object comes first. The competition canceled by the organizers. What should we do?
Are canceled.
Pay attention to the tense in the active, right? It's past simple. So what should the...
Was cancelled.
Very good. Was cancelled. Alright, so far how many of you are understanding this clearly? Understanding it? Raise up your hands. Can you understand? Alright, so if you have any questions, you can raise up your hands, okay, and ask questions. Okay, was cancelled. Good, good, good. Question number 6. Again, from here, we will check the answers from active voice, okay? So a reporter, right, was interviewing Ronaldo in his home. A reporter, subject, was interviewing, verb, Ronaldo in his home. So that is the object. So we start it all the way around. Ronaldo was interviewing by a reporter in his home is wrong, so what should we do?
Was being interviewed.
Very good, was being interviewed, because the interviewing, right? Interviewing, so it was being interviewed. Was being interviewed. Was being interviewed, right, by a reporter in his home. All right, last one for this one, this part, okay? Those old trainers should be thrown out from the passive, right? Those old trainers should be thrown out. So now you
should throw out those.
Very good. So you, did we write you? Yes. So should throw out. Okay, and this tense, right? What I wrote before, this is a modal. Modal, right? Should, ought to, must, right? Have to, right? Those are modals. Throw out. Throw out. That's the present infinitive. Present tense, right? Throw out. Alright, and we call these, right? We will talk about these later. The words throw out, we call these what kind of part of speech? We call them phrasal verbs, okay? Verbs because we start with a verb, okay? Throw. Throw out. Phrasal verbs. Alright. Did you check your answers? Alright, it should be the same. Good. So now let's move on to number 3. Number 3. Match the text 1 to 5 with the prompts from A and E. Where can you find A and E? From below, okay, on part 3. Now let's go around the texts. Let's go from 1 to 5. Let's start with Kotik. Look at number 1, the poster. What does it say? Keep
out of reach of
children. That means try to keep the children away from this. Whatever this is, keep the children away. Lavina, number 2. Today's
match postponed due to bad weather.
Right, today's match postponed due to bad weather. This means today's match or the competition is stopped, cancelled because of, due to the bad weather. Number 3, Miss Jenny.
No dogs allowed on pitch.
No dogs allowed on pitch. No dogs cannot be here. Where is pitch? Pitch can mean a football pitch or a football, what do you call it here? Court, right? Football court here in Hong Kong. Football pitch, okay? Number 4, refreshments included in ticket price. This means the money you pay for the ticket will already include some drinks or food or snacks, right? Refreshments. That means already in the money you pay. Number 5, Jenny, can you read again? All
forms to be received before
31st
of May.
All forms to be received before 31st of May. This means everything we want to give them, right? All forms. Forms means notice, right? Maybe we write them something, or application form to be received before. That means the deadline is 31st of May. If you give it to them on the next month, cannot be received, okay? So we have A on a poster, B on a bottle of medicine, C on a sign notice board, or D on a sign, or E on an application form. So how will we answer this, okay? Is there an example for you on your book?
No.
Okay, so I will give you an example, okay? So I will start with number 1, okay? Listen to me carefully. Number 1 is B, right? Medicine should or must be kept out of reach of children, okay? That's how you answer me, okay? You write down the letter and then you say it out loud. You make a sentence together. 1 is B. Medicine must be kept out of reach of children, right? On a bottle of medicine. So medicine must be kept out of reach of children. Must be kept out. All right? You notice my my tense there? Must be kept out. From keep out, okay? So number 2, can we start with Kotik? Number 2. What's your answer for number 2? Where can we see that? On a poster, on a notice board, on a sign, or on an application form?
A notice board.
Very good. So notice board is?
C.
C, very good. So it should be, I forgot to write it down, B and C. Now Kotek, can you try to make a sentence? A passive reported speech. Which one is the subject? Which one is the... Right, quite tricky now, right?
Today's
match
was postponed due to bad weather.
Alright, today's match was postponed or has been postponed due to bad weather. Alright, good. Question number 3, Lavina. Where can we see this?
No dogs is allowed on P.
Right, so is it A, B, C, D, or E?
It's D.
D, very good. A sign, right? Maybe on outside the football pitch. Right, so can you give me... Oh, you already gave me, right? No dogs allowed on pitch, so same thing. Are allowed. No dogs are allowed on pitch. Alright, question number 4, Miss Jenny. Refreshments included in ticket price.
A.
A, very good. And can you give me a sentence for A? Right, something is missing here. So the text is already correct, but something, just one word is missing.
Was included.
Alright, almost, not was, but it should be are. Are. Refreshments are included in ticket price. Why? Because it's true, right? When you paid for it, so it should be are included. Last one, all forms to be received before May. Very easy, on an application form, okay? So how should this be? All forms to be received should be all forms must be received, right? Must be received instead of to be received. Alright, so that should be E. Alright, so do you have any problems with the passive voice? Anybody has problems? No problems? No? Okay, no problems with passive voice. Alright, so now let's go to part 4, okay? We have to fill in with or by, okay? So remember how we talked in passive voice. In passive voice we have object with the verb that was done by a subject. So by a subject or with a subject. So this is how we talk in passive voice, okay? So for number 1, let's try to do it together. Number 1, I'll read it, okay? His wall was covered with or by pictures of basketball stars. What do you think should be the correct answer? His wall was covered by pictures of basketball stars. Can someone try to yell out an answer? With, very good. Covered with, right? Covered with. Again, covered with, that is a phrasal verb, right? A verb and a make it as a phrase. Question number 2, the race was won with or won by a 20-year-old driver, Mr. Kotick.
Won by.
Won by, right? Won by. Who won it? The 20-year-old driver. By him. He won the race, right? Number 3, Miss Jenny. The athlete's wound was cleaned with or cleaned by some surgical spirit. Okay, so surgical spirit is a kind of liquid, okay? Not like a ghost, a spirit, okay? It's a liquid that you put. So do you use it with something too? All right, so with, right? Should be with. Cleaned with. All right. Question number 4, Kotick. The plan to build a new stadium was rejected with or rejected by the town council?
By.
Rejected by. Very good. Easy peasy. Right? Written by, rejected by, eaten by. Right? Who did the action? Question number 5, Lavina. The team's uniform were made with a local company or were made by? Very easy. Were made by. All right. So does anybody have any questions with the differences between with and by? Anybody? No? So you all understand? Alright, so if you understand Kotick, can you give me the differences between with or by then?
By is something get from someone.
Okay.
And with is you make it together.
Alright, good. So by is the person, right, who does the action. With is what you use, okay? What was used to perform the action. So by is the person or the company or the organization. With is the materials they use, okay? All right, so for example, the cake was eaten by me, right? But I ate it with spoon and fork. You see what I mean, right? Right, okay. So now let's go to page 93, okay? Page 93, did I segregate it? No. So page 93, part 5, page 93, part 5. Complete the rules of karate. Do you know karate? Right, it's the Japanese martial arts, right? Using the passive voice, okay? So, we have words in brackets, okay? For the 4 questions. I didn't write the whole sentence because it's just not enough space. So number 1, competitors may divide into groups based on age, height, weight, gender, or level. So what should that be? May divide will become?
May be divided.
Very good, may be divided. May be divided. Alright, good work. Okay, question number 2. The traditional karate uniform must wear by all competitors during training or tournaments.
Must be worn.
Very good, must be worn. Remember the modal, right? Must. And then the infinitive, present infinitive, must be worn. Okay, good. Must be worn. Alrighty, if you finish number 2, let's go to number 3. In tournaments means competitions. Scores can give only by official judges.
Can be given.
Very good, can be given. Remember, again, modal, right? May, must, can. These are all modals. Alright, lastly, if you finish writing can be given. Lastly, if a competitor or the enemy or challenger is careless without care, right? So, oops, I'm very careless. And injures an opponent, right? They could
Be disqualified.
Oh, very smart. Could be disqualified. So, could be, alright, disqualified here. Disqualified. Do you know what the word disqualified means?
Yeah.
Alright, what does disqualified mean? taken out of the race, the competition, right? So disqualified means you cannot play anymore. So qualify means you can, disqualified means you cannot. Alrighty then, number 5, part 5, we are talking about conditionals, right? Conditionals. We have 2 types we will talk about. There's obviously 4 types, but for this class we will only focus on 2 types, type 0 and type 1. Now, do you know what the word conditionals mean? It means if, right? If something happens, then this will happen, right? Now we have 2 types. We have type 0 and type 1, okay? So for, I gave you the answer already for part B. So this will, I think this will help you understand more if you know how to make them, okay? So for part B, can you write down the answer? It's if or when plus present simple. For part B on the table, write it down. Part B, number 6. Type 0, if or when plus present simple. Right? It's a present simple tense. So this is type 0. And the main clause means the main idea, what will happen, right? Is also present simple. Alright? Alright? Easy to understand? And then for type 1 is if, not when. When do we use when? When is only used when something is certain to happen, right? When is your birthday, right? So this is, there is a date for your birthday, okay? For example, when I grow up, I will be a fireman. Why I use when I grow up? Because I'm so sure I will grow up, right? When I go to sleep, I will turn on the air conditioning, right? When I go to sleep, not if I go to sleep. If I go to sleep will mean something else that's different, and that is type 1. If plus present simple, and then imperative, right? Imperative or modal, will, can, may, must, plus bare infinitive. Bare infinitive means you don't change the verb. Bare means stay the same. So go, run, jump, eat, bare, okay? So what does imperative mean? Imperative. Imperative. Right, okay. So silence, right? Imperative means something similar to a command, like stop that, eat this, write that, alright? Erase that, come here. Those are called imperatives, okay? Small commands or requests that start with a verb. Come here, stay there, stand up, sit down. Those are called imperatives, okay? So that's it in the main clause, okay? For type 1. Now we have 2 passages, A and B. A and B. Can Lavina read passage A? If water.
Where is it?
Part 6. Yes.
If water freezes, it turns into ice.
Right. If water freezes, it turns into ice. Can I put when water freezes in front? Yes, right. I can put when water freezes, it turns into ice. So what type of condition is this? 0 or 1? 0, right? So I'll just put 0. You can put 0 as well if you want. Okay. Miss Jenny, your turn to read text B.
If it stops snowing, we will go skiing.
Right, if it stops snowing, we will go skiing. Now, yes, we can put when in front. When it stops snowing, we'll go skiing. But this here is a very particular situation, right? So it is snowing now. Right, when it stops snowing, we will go skiing. Do we always go skiing when it stops snowing? No. Does it snow in Hong Kong?
No.
No, right? So it can't be very true or general truth. So that's why we ask the question here. Which is general truth or probable situation in the future? Probable means probably, maybe, it could happen. General truth means yes, it always happens, right? It is the truth. So which one is general truth? Which one is probable situation in the future? Kotek, could you give me the answer for general truth? On your book, you can refer again. A, if water freezes, it turns into ice. Is that general truth or probable situation?
General truth.
Right, so it's a general truth. So this is the general. General. Right, and for Jenny, Did you write down general truth? For Jenny is still writing, so I'll ask Lavina instead. Lavina, letter B. If it stops snowing, we'll go skiing. Is that general truth or a probable situation in the future?
Probable.
Right, probably true, right? A situation in the future. So this would be a probable truth or probable situation. Not always the truth, right? Not always the truth. So that is the differences between type O and type 1, or type 0 and type 1, okay? General truths and a probable situation. For example, if the class finishes early, I can have early, can have, right? Can have early lunch or late lunch. Can have late lunch. Can have is the bare infinitive, right? Late lunch. Or if I sleep late, I will be tired tomorrow. You see what I mean? Easy peasy, right? Very easy. I think you've learned this a couple of years back. Alright, so for part 7, it's too tedious, okay? We already know how to form them, so we'll skip part 7. Let's go straight right into part 8. Complete the conditional sentences, okay? So this is up to your imagination. You have the freedom to write whatever you want, okay? So long as it makes sense. For me, myself, I will do it like this, okay? So we will do 1 and 2 with my guiding, and I'll give you maybe a minute to do the rest, okay? So for number 1, don't wait for me if. Why will someone wait for you?
If
maybe
you are in hurry. If you are in hurry.
I'm sorry?
If you are in hurry.
Right, if you are in a hurry, they're in a hurry to go somewhere, right? So maybe I can say, don't wait for me if you are in a hurry, right? If you are in a hurry. Or don't wait for me if I am, you are, alright? So these are simple. You are, I am, okay? If I am not there by 1 minute, right? Easy. Alright, question number 2. Alright, if we leave now, what does that mean, if we leave now? That means you're trying to get somewhere, right? If we leave now, maybe we can go somewhere later, right? So what do you think we should put here? If we leave now, we or you or I or we. If we leave now, we can do something later. What do you think? If we leave now, we can still, right? We can still go watch a movie, maybe, right? Maybe your movie is 5 o'clock, but you're still in school at 4:30. And now it's 4 o'clock, and you tell your friend, if we leave now, we can still go watch the movie, okay? Right? We can, right? We can. Still, go, right? Bear. Okay, number 3, to 4, to 5. I'll trust that you finish it within a minute. Yes? Within a minute, you can do it by yourself, right? That's good. Alright, good work. Alright, so can we hear the answers from our students? Miss Lavina, could you tell me your answer for number 3?
If you feel sick, you can stay at home.
You can stay at home, very good, especially now, right, with the virus. If you feel sick, you can stay at home. You can stay at home. Again, can is a modal, right? You can. You should see a doctor. You must take some rest, right? You have to drink some medicine, okay? Miss Jenny, number 4, can you give us your answer? She won't join us if?
She won't join us if she doesn't have enough time.
Correct. She won't join us if she does not have enough time, right? She won't join us if she has not enough time, okay? Number 5, Mr. Kochik, could you give me your answer for number 5? If you
study, you may get higher marks in the exam.
Right, you will get higher marks or better grades. So I'll leave this for you guys at home to stick with your answers, okay? So I won't write down any further. All right, is that easy? Easy work? Good. Now let's rewrite the sentences in part 9. We have to study the example, okay, from part 1 or number 1, and then rewrite the sentences using unless or if not. Now these two are synonymous, meaning they are synonyms or they have the same meaning, synonymous, right? But they are used differently, okay? Look at prompt number 1. Train regularly or else you won't be ready in May. That has no meaning, right? So we have to put unless or if not. So how do we do that? So you won't be ready in May. Who won't be ready? You. So we know that it's you. So if you don't train regularly, you won't be ready in May. Do you see how they use if and you or if not? Yes, right? Now let's look at unless. Unless who? Unless you train regularly, you won't be ready in May. You see the similarity in structure, right? But unless already has the negative meaning, means not if you do not. So unless is if you do not or if someone does not. So let's go to number 2. Listen to the coach or you won't know what to do. So what should that be in if not? If not. Alright, maybe Kotek, can you do it? If not, listen to the coach or you won't know what to do. If not.
If you don't listen to the coach, you won't know what to do.
Right, if you don't listen to the coach, you won't know what to do. Very good. So I'll write that down. If you won't listen to the coach, right? And then I'll put ... That means you already know, right? Just copy the main clause. If you don't listen to the coach, or if you won't listen to the coach, and then ... That means you already know, right? What will happen? There should be a what? There should be a comma. Don't forget a comma. If you don't listen to the coach, comma, the main clause. All right, Lavina, could you do the unless part? Unless. For number 2, unless
unless you listen to the coach, you won't know what to do.
Very good. So unless you listen to your coach, comma, you won't know what to do. Full stop. Good work. So unless already has the negative meaning of not, right? So you don't need to put unless you won't, right? Unless you won't is another meaning, right? Good work. Miss Jenny, have you finished the one?
Yeah.
Right, so Miss Jenny, could you give me number 3? If you, or if I, or if someone.
If you be able to exercise in the gym, you need to be a member.
Almost. So it should be if you aren't a member, right?
Oh.
If you aren't a member, comma, if you aren't a member, what will happen? You won't be able to exercise in the gym. Again, same part, right? You won't be. And then same, right? Unless you are a member. So for the unless part, there is no aren't, right? Unless you are a member. Okay, we're quite running out of time. 7. minutes left, I think. Is it 7 minutes left?
6 minutes.
6 minutes left. Okay, so we'll try to do this. Okay, so for you guys, maybe you can keep this as homework for you, 4 and 5. Okay, 4 and 5 as homework, so you can keep that what we learned in class today as fresh as going back home. Okay, and for the students who are watching this at home, just do the parts we're doing together. The parts I circle you can do after the class, okay? After the class. So you can practice by yourselves, okay? Alright, so now let's go to part 10. Complete the second sentence so that it means the same as the first. So there's a first sentence on top, second sentence on bottom, right? Now we can use unless or if again. So number 1, he can't see without his glasses. He can't see his glasses. What should we write?
Unless
he
wear his glasses.
Right, unless he wears. So unless he wears. Can we say if? He can't see if he wears his glasses? No, right? Because if you wear your glasses, then you can see. So if does not work here. Number 2, wear your helmet or else you'll get injured. You will not or you won't get injured.
If you wear your helmet.
Very smart. If you wear. Can we say unless? No, right? Because unless and if does not mean the same. Unless and if not is the same, okay? Mind you, unless has a negative meaning. Number 3, she'll be late if she doesn't leave now. She won't get there in time.
Unless she lives now.
Very good. Unless she leaves now. Very good. Unless. Thank you, Miss Jenny and Miss Lavina. Unless. This is letter U, okay? Not A. Unless she leaves. Okay. Unless she leaves now. Good work. Very easy, right? Good. Now let's move on to the last part for our activity book. Then I will try to explain, okay, what you can do at home as for homework, okay? So we'll do that as homework, okay? So phrasal verbs, remember, verbs, phrasal verbs. Phrase means a couple of words put together to have one meaning, right? So we can have phrasal verbs with 2 words, right? Put together has one meaning. All right, so we have the options of out, back, round, up, and about, right? So those are what? Those are what? Out, back, round, up, about. Prepositions. Very good. Prepositions. Thank you. They are prepositions put together with verbs. Brought, right? Brings, another brought. Player, maybe, can be a verb as well, okay? Alright, so number 1, the publisher brought back, brought around, brought up, brought about, brought out a book on football. When you publish something, you bring it back. Bring back means you've done it before, right? He's not done it before. Bring around means go around again. Bring up means to tell somebody. Bring about, same as bring round again. Or brought out, to bring out, to introduce. What do you think is correct?
Brought out.
Very good. Brought out means to introduce, okay? Brought out, introduce or publish or to bring out, right? I bring out this box of pizza. Why? For us to eat, right? Number 2, it took the coach several minutes to bring the unconscious player. Unconscious player. Okay, so if we don't know this one, let's move on to the next one. Number 3, this song brings blank childhood memories.
Brings up.
Brings up childhood memories? Bring back, right? Brings back. Bring it back, right? So when you try to remember something, you're trying to bring back all those memories, right? Bring up is okay, but in a different context, okay? Last one. She brought blank her children by herself. Brought what?
Up.
Brought up. Very good. Brought up means what?
Take up.
or take care, right? How she took care of her children. I was brought up by my mother who was very strict. You can say something like that. So what should be this one then? Bring the unconscious player back. There's another word for back. Round. Very good. Round. Round, okay? Bring the unconscious player round, okay? Alright, so out, round, back, and up. Good? Alright, I'm sorry we don't have enough time to do this together, but please go to your workbook, page 7 and 8. I will show you how to do them, okay? Page 7 and 8. It's quite a heavy class today, so, okay? So page 7 and 8, okay? We have 4 parts to do in page 7. Now, how do we do them, okay? So again, we're exploring our grammar through the active and passive tone, okay? Active and passive voice. So question number 1, it should be very self-explanatory, right? Read the text and answer the questions. So where are the questions? The questions are underneath, right? Here we have 4 questions, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you just read them down and then you can find some spaces. Or if you have a notebook, you can write down the page, right? And then write down which part you're writing. You can write down on the notebook your answers. And then I can check your notebook as well if you have a notebook. Or if you want to write them down here on the sides, that's also okay. So long as you have enough space, okay? Alright, so again, about passive and active voice. Number 2, part 2. What do the notices mean, okay? Rewrite them in full sentences. Again, same thing as what we did in our student book. Change what the notices mean, right? Rewrite them in full sentences. We have A, B, C, D. So that's 4 questions, okay? Now for part 3, same thing. Again, we use the prompts like this one over here on page 92. Part 5, similar thing. We use the words given to us, rearrange them, and make it into a sentence, right? Or a question, okay? I'm sorry. You read the instructions first and they will tell you. For part 4 is conditionals, right? Conditionals, again, conditionals we've learned here, right? Part 6 of page 92, right? Page 92. Refer to your student book if you need some help, because that's where all your notes are, okay? We have 6 questions for that. Remember, we can use if or when, but when is only for type 0, general truths. Understood? Yes or no? Good. All right, and then page 8, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exercises. Don't worry if it's a lot. It's actually very little, okay? It's not a lot of things to do. So, complete the sentences. Again, same as this one. Right? Oh, no. Same as this one. Part 8 of your book. Same as this one, right? You just write down using your own imagination is okay. And then phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs. We're also using the verb bring. So brought or bring. You can try to not copy, but base it on your information on phrasal verbs of page 93. Again, you can use your student book. Alright? And then everything else is up to you. Okay? So prepositional phrases. So if we have phrasal verbs, we also have prepositional phrases, okay? Using prepositions, right? In video, I am in video right now, right? On view, I am on view for the students, right? In my view, I can see 3 students and a camera. Those are prepositional phrases, all right? Understand? So this is what you're going to do as homework, all right? So I want to see completed books next week. Is that good? Yes or no? Yes, okay, very good. So even for you guys at home, this is our class for today. Remember, page 7 and 8. All right, thank you. See you next week.